webinar. Guys have been asking me this question a lot of times. I'm like literally get it every day. Now it's mostly with people who have done little to no research in Forex, learnt about Forex, and it is one of the hardest topics. If anything, it's not the easiest of topics to explain in a simple short webinar, and that is to move stop loss to break even. When do I do that? Firstly, moving stop loss. Why do you move stop loss to break even after your first take profit has maybe hit, or maybe ahead of a fundamental news that is going to be released? Maybe you're in 10-15 pip profit and Theresa May is going to start talking. You're thinking, okay, let me just move my stop loss just to my entry point because I'm in 20 pip profit right now, and you know, let's see if she takes it the direction that I want the trade to go to. Maybe she'll help like a catalyst to bring my trade to, you know, extreme ends of the spectrum. So you can do this strategy a lot of times, but moving stop loss to break even, many people sometimes do that and end up choking the trade out, literally suffocating the trade and not letting the trade reach its maximum potential. What do I mean by that? Sometimes, for example, let's take an example. So these red boxes are pretty much days. So this is from the 20th of March. This is the 21st of March, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So we got 5 days highlighted, and as you can see, they also have numbers. So I've shown you numbers wise what it is. From the bottom to the top, about 110 pips the market has moved on the 20th of March. From the bottom to the top, another 80 pips, 83 pips. From the bottom to the top, and from top to bottom. So from the core edge of these boxes, so we've got about 137, 140 I have, and this one's about 55, and so far for today we have about 80. Now what have I done? I've added up these numbers, 110, 83, 140, 55, and divided it by the number of boxes. So that is 4 days, and that gives me on average the market on Euro GBP moves roughly 97 pips a day. What does that mean? This is another topic, but I've got this average number. Just remember this. Now, say I had this average number, right? And I've taken a trade at Euro GBP right at the bottom. So I've taken a trade at Euro GBP. Let me delete this one for now. And this is a signal that I sent today on Euro GBP as a buy. And I said at 0.852 buy, with the take profit first one being at 0.855, which is 30 pips. And I gave another take profit, which was take profit 2 at 0.85. I believe 8, yeah, 0.858, which was another 30 pips above. So we got about in total 60 pips, 30 pips for TP1, 60 pips for TP2. Now, this trade was a quick trade. It's a quick 30 minutes, 30 pip TP1, 60 pip TP2 trade. It was not a long-term swing trade. And my analysis, I knew what I was looking at, and it has hit that short-term projected target. Now, when I send a signal, I don't tell you whether this trade I did long-term analysis on it or short-term analysis on it. It's up to you to figure that out, and I do advise everyone to go and do the Baby Pips course online, which will help immensely. I'm telling you, it's one of the best courses that you can probably find online, and I make it a compulsory requirement for anyone who's thinking about doing the course to do that first, and to be able to get as much knowledge from there as possible. Now, with that average number of 90, right, I had the market go up 30 pips, and say below 30 pips was my stop loss. So in total, my breathing space that I'm giving my market after it has hit TP1 is about this box of 60 pips, right? 58, 60 pips is what I'm giving my trade the breathing space of. You never want to create a breathing space which is less than half of your projected average number for the past 5 to 10 days. So if this number was 100, you don't want to have the breathing space be less than 50. So if I made the breathing space from right now, which is what, 60 pips, to maybe 40 pips, right? This is, in my opinion, a really tight breathing space, and sometimes your trades have to be let to breathe, because otherwise what's going to happen is essentially you're going to choke your trade out. Your trade is going to come back into entry. You're going to probably be sleeping for the Asian session time. You're not going to get a good entry back up for London, and this trade will be lost. So if in this scenario, like for example, my TP1 was hit, I didn't move my stop loss to break even for Euro GBP, because this box that I have, which is about 60 pips, I wanted to, give the market a bit of breathing space so that this average number of pips that I have, which is 97, I'm not treading on its path and making that become less than 50. Right now it's 60, market is breathing quite a bit and it's moving to my direction, and I can hold this trade until possibly this type of pattern is created and 0.858 target is hit. That is what you want to ideally do. You want to make sure you're not moving your stop loss to break even too early. So, for example, imagine you make your stop loss to break even and it's only 30 pips in profit. On average, look at this: 55 pips the market has moved yesterday, 140, 83, 110. But you got to look at the waves of these boxes as well. Look at this box. Look at this nice wave that happened. Can you see? Market went up about 60 pips up and then dropped another 45 pips before it continued going up 70 pips. Look at the wave that happened another day. So market went up, came back down, and then went up again. So how many pips did it go up by? About 45 pips up, came back in, 38 pips, and then it continued going up. Let's look at the other day. Well, this was more of a linear, proper, serious drop. But so far you can see that this is what happened. Had a little bit of a pullback, but then it continued dropping. Now the next day was more of a ranging day. As you can see, the market was more sideways, but every time it did go up and down. But today what happened was it was a really linear drop. What I predict is the market will possibly go up for a bit, which it did, hit my TP1, come back for a little wave down, and continue its smooth way up, similar to what happened maybe on this day. Can you see on this day what happened? Or this day, maybe the reversal of that, because these guys were going up. Now we came back down and we may be going on the way back up again. So these type of little waves, you don't want to be choking. Imagine someone had taken a trade down at this point, right? They bought Euro GBP at my green point of entry, right? And the stop loss was somewhere down here, so below, and the take profit was above, right? So good scenario. As you can imagine, on that day the market moved 83 pips. So what happened is the market went up, maybe hit TP1. What this guy did is move your stop loss from here all the way to the top. What happened? Market comes back in for entry. He missed it because he was asleep, maybe. And then the market continued up again to go up how many pips? Another 75 pips. Maybe it could happen here again, because if this guy had been patient and had let the market breathe, he wouldn't have hit stop loss at break even and suffocated the market. Because why? He would have treaded down the halfway mark of 97. Maybe if he counted the previous days, it would have been maybe 100, 110, maybe. It would be roughly around that mark, but it depends on every single currency pair, and this is called the average volatility of every currency pair. So the way you can measure that is by doing it the way I did it, and that is one way to know when to move your stop loss to break even. There are more conservative ways, and sometimes I tell people, there are advanced ways to move stop loss to break even, and beginner way. This is a beginner way, I would say. Just practice this and do this for a bit, see how it goes. If you want to be more conservative and you think that you can re-enter at certain points, even if it hits stop loss at break even really consistently, you can do that. Maybe try that out. You will hit more stop losses at break even, but you have the responsibility to re-enter into the market as soon as the opportunity arises, maybe at key trading session time. That's why I also advise key trading session times. Go on Baby Pips if you don't know what I'm talking about. See what trading sessions are and see how you can match that up with entries. Hopefully you guys liked today's webinar. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, give it a little comment, and let me know how you found it. Take care, guys. See you in the next webinar.